The Nightbeat starts right now.
We're now learning more about the city of Kerrville's response to the deadly hill country floods that killed more than 100 people throughout that county. KSAT Investigates Dylan Collier obtained a trove of emails and texts from Kerrville city leaders showing they were caught off guard by a scene that rapidly descended into tragedy.
On July 3rd, Kerrville Mayor Joe Herring Jr. texted City Manager Dalton Rice that tomorrow would be a big day at Louise Hayes Park, site of Kerrville's Fourth on the River celebration. At 6:37 the next morning, the threat had taken a much more serious tone. Herring asking where the Emergency Operations Center was located. Emails released to KSAT this weekend following a public records request show off-duty Kerrville firefighters weren't called to their respective stations until just before 9 that morning, hours after it had already become a catastrophic flooding event. After Rice updated City Council that water rescues were underway, Kerrville City Councilwoman Brenda Hughes responded, quote, "Ugh, not what we needed today." At 10:43 that morning, Herring asked Rice for an update on Camp Mystic. Rice responded that everything was still unconfirmed at the camp along the Guadalupe River, where we now know 27 campers and counselors died. Later that day, Rice texting Herring, quote, "He's an expletive joke." It's not clear from the messages who Rice was referring to. Rice did not respond to a request for comment from KSAT today about his text messages.
We do know the number one priority now is people.
Hours after Rice stood behind Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem during a July 5th press conference in Kerrville, he received a text message from a city staffer who wrote, "Just saw you met Homeland Barbie. How is she?" To which Rice replied, laughingly, quote, "Basically Homeland Barbie." The phrase has been used to mockingly refer to Noem since she was confirmed as DHS Secretary early this year. Dylan Collier, KSAT 12 News.
KSAT has requested text and email records for other Kerrville and Kerr County leaders, but have yet to receive those. Power outages hit Kerr County after the floods. The power station in Hunt had up to 8 feet of water. The Kerrville Public Utility Board said almost every control cabinet was filled with water and mud, and the repairs could take 2 to 3 months. But they're working with the Lower Colorado River Authority to find a temporary fix. We'll keep you posted on any developments. And if you're looking for a way to help us at KSAT, KPRC, our parent company Graham Media Group, and Gray Media are teaming up for the Together for Texas donation drive. Scan the QR code on your screen and it'll take you directly to the donation page. The campaign is aimed at relief and recovery efforts for families and communities severely impacted by the disaster. All of the funds raised will go directly to the on-the-ground efforts in flood-affected areas through the Salvation Army. All new on the Nightbeat, one person is dead after a motorcycle crash at the intersection of Southwest Military and Logwood Avenue on the south side. According to the San Antonio Fire Department, the motorcycle allegedly hit a truck, causing both to catch fire. The motorcycle driver died. No other injuries have been reported. As we learn more, we'll bring that to you. Today, an assault led to a San Antonio police officer firing his gun during a chase on the south side. SAPD says a man attacked several people with a knife at a home on Heather Court before taking off in a truck. Officers found the truck and tried to stop it, but were unsuccessful. The suspect eventually made it to his house on Ivy Ridge Lane. That's where officers chased him inside, and police say that's when an officer fired his gun. No one was hit, and no officers were hurt. The 39-year-old suspect is in custody and may face charges for aggravated assault. This afternoon, Church police were tipped off about abandoned animals at a house on Hillbrook Drive. When they got there, the house seemed vacant, but inside, dogs and cats were in bad shape and needed help fast. Schertz Animal Control stepped in to make sure they were taken care of. However, police have opened a case for animal cruelty. We'll keep you updated as we learn more. One man is dead after being hit by multiple vehicles. This happened around 11 p.m. last night on I-10 near UTSA Boulevard. Police tell us a motorcyclist was racing with another motorbike when an 18-wheeler changing lanes didn't see him and hit him. The rider fell off his bike and was hit by another 18-wheeler and possibly other cars. That man was pronounced dead at the scene. The drivers of the 18-wheelers and other vehicles did stop to render aid. At this time, no charges have been filed. Now to the latest on a fire that we showed you last night on Corgi Road. The Atascosa County Fire Marshal says the fire at a firewood plant in Pleasanton is still burning but contained. You may have seen the mountain of smoke and flames dominating the skyline along I-37 South. We're now going to show you drone footage of the fire this evening. The sheriff's office tells us no one was inside the building when the fire began and no injuries have been reported. As for what caused the fire, that remains under investigation. Fire officials said they're letting the fire burn out while maintaining a fire watch. And this video is from a fire early this morning. You can see flames through the roof of the home just north of downtown near the 5 Points area. At least 25 fire trucks were on scene when it first broke out around 2:30 this morning. This was on Duffield Street, not far from San Pedro Avenue and Fredericksburg Road. As of right now, there are no known injuries, and the cause of the fire in this fire is also unknown. Shelby, taking a look at weather, we've seen a lot of clouds and some stray showers throughout the day.
Yeah, that's exactly right, JP. And the stray showers were exactly that. Not everyone saw rain consistently in their own backyard. It was very isolated. Take a look at the authority radar for the last 12 hours of rainfall totals. Areas just to the east near Stockdale, they did see some heavier rain. And once again, just to the west in Uvalde County, they had rain up until about 9 p.m. tonight for some areas. But this is a look at the rainfall totals of the last 12 hours. Just over 1/4 inch of rain in Lakey, 1/2 inch in Uvalde. Now this is all radar indicated. However, the radar scans have continued to get better and better over the years. So we are still very confident that even in areas of Seguin, almost just under 1.5 inches of rain. But zooming in San Antonio, we didn't see as much rain still. Once again, where you did see that yellow color, that's where you got 2.5 inches of rain. Right now, we're not seeing anything on the radar, but we will continue to see more chances of rain later this week as another low pressure system returns to the forecast. But that's after we see some triple digit heat. I'll break down what you need to know coming up in just a bit, JP.
Shelby, thank you. The National Hispanic Institute is wrapping up the Lorenzo de Zavala Youth Legislative Session that took place this weekend. Over 200 top high school students from the U.S. and Mexico came to Trinity University to dive into public policy. These students got to live on campus and take part in a hands-on experience by role-playing political leaders, drafting legislation, and debating ideas that impact communities. Here's what some students took away from it.
The program has really improved my confidence in my public speaking ability specifically, and like my ability to socialize with people. I'm not typically the most talkative person, but I feel like I've genuinely made a lot of good connections here through conversation.
The event can inspire students to run for student governments or maybe even think about running for some kind of office someday down the line. But to them, that's not the most important takeaway.
I think that what I'm getting from this experience the most is that I know I can be a winner. I can be a leader.
The program's goal was to focus on teaching real-world skills and building future leaders. Still ahead, the president announcing an agreement has been reached between the United States and the EU just days ahead of Friday's deadline. How it'll impact you, coming up. A big announcement from President Donald Trump. He says the U.S. has reached a trade deal with the European Union. The news comes during the president's visit to Scotland, which the White House says is a mix of personal business, golf, and trade talks. ABC's Selena Wang has more.
President Trump announcing he's reached a trade deal with the European Union.
It's a good deal for everybody, I believe. And I think you were saying this is probably the biggest deal ever reached in any capacity, trade or beyond trade.
The agreement significantly reduces the 30% tariffs the president threatened on European goods ahead of the Friday, August 1st deadline. The new deal includes 15% tariffs on most goods, including automobiles. The EU will purchase $750 billion worth of energy from the U.S. and agrees to invest $600 billion more in America. All EU countries will be open to trade with the U.S. at zero tariffs. The EU also agrees to purchase a vast amount of U.S. military equipment. The 27-member European Union represents the second largest economy in the world after the United States.
It's a huge deal.
Yeah.
With tough negotiations. I knew it at the beginning, and it was indeed very tough, but we came to good conclusions for both sides. So again, congratulations and many thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The president also said he's in talks with 3 or 4 other countries about possible deals ahead of Friday's deadline. Without an agreement, the EU said it was prepared to retaliate with tariffs on hundreds of American products from cars to cosmetics. Had President Trump made good on his threat, everything from French cheese and Italian leather goods to German electronics and Spanish pharmaceuticals would be more expensive. Tomorrow, the president is set to meet with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer to fine-tune the trade deal they reached last month on the sidelines of the G7 summit. It comes as the president faces questions over his administration's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files and calls from some of his own supporters for more transparency. Selena Wang, ABC News, Washington.
It is 10:13 and it is about 80 degrees outside, which hasn't been, well, it's been hotter than that obviously throughout the day, but the temperatures have been at bay because of the clouds and rain.
Yeah, today, JP, was very seasonable for our temperatures. I mean, average is only 96 degrees, so it wasn't anything too out of the ordinary, and the temperatures and the rain really allowed that to happen. Today, at the San Antonio airport, our peak temperature only got to about 94 degrees, but take a look at areas near New Braunfels. They also had some rain consistently throughout the day, so they were still sitting a few degrees cooler, and this was just your peak temperature today. Fredericksburg got to about 89 degrees earlier today, and so far this year, we've only had 4 days where we've gotten to 100 degrees. Normally, we are sitting with a few more triple-digit days. Last year, we already had 12. The year before, we had 31. And back in 2022, we had 47 triple-digit days. That just means either our peak temperature got to 100 and stayed at 100, or we got to 100 and went even further. This year, we've only had 4 of them. One of our triple-digit days was just last week. Now, we are forecasting more days where we are expected to get on the warmer side. Tomorrow, we're going to sit at about 97 degrees, but Tuesday and Wednesday, that's when we're sitting once again near triple-digit heat and expected to get to 100 degrees on Wednesday before more rain chances return to the forecast Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then we start to see our temperatures rebound back up into those upper 90s. But that low pressure system that we saw earlier today that gave us the rain chances yesterday and today, that's already pushing into areas of Mexico. Not really much of a concern or a worry anymore. But this heat high, that's that area of that big blue H, that high pressure, that's going to continue to make its way into areas of South Texas over the next few days. That will continue to give us our temperatures on the warmer side. But this is a look at the peak temperatures for the entire month of July, where you see those orange colors, only about 4 days. That does include, or it doesn't include today, excuse me. We've only had 4 days in the entire month where we were sitting above average. Other days where you see those gray, that's where we're sitting near average. Our average is 96, so it does take into account a few degrees on either side. But at the beginning of the month, we started off temperatures staying in those 80s, which is not normal for us here in July. Normally, we're seeing a few more triple-digit days, but today, in the month of July, the San Antonio airport actually did clock some rain. It had been well over a week, if not almost 2 weeks, since we actually saw rain at the San Antonio airport. Although it was only 0.05 of an inch, rain was still rain, and we still very much appreciated the quick little sporadic downpours that some areas did see. Now, for the next few days, we did have a 30% chance of rain today. That's continued to leave. There's about a 10% chance of rain tomorrow, but that's only due to the chance of just a quick shower, maybe a quick sun shower for some of folks, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's when we're watching our next chance of some rain and even some isolated downpours once again, because of a low pressure system making its way into areas of South Texas. It's another upper level disturbance, much like what we saw earlier this week and then last weekend as well. So we'll keep you posted. But the good news is, although we're seeing the rain and it's not necessarily best for some folks, especially in the recovery efforts in the hill country, the rain chances are actually giving us our temperatures a little at bay in those mid 90s, still seeing that cloud coverage as well. So don't worry, especially the kiddos wanting to enjoy the last few weeks of summer. There is still plenty of time to enjoy summer before school starts again, just around the corner.
So we got heat and rain chances throughout the forecast.
Correct.
Awesome stuff. Thanks for that, Shelby. Now, KSAT's been camping with the Cowboys in Oxnard, Cali. Also a good time to get ready for the season, but also negotiate.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The money is everywhere you could possibly think of right now. A new contract extension for Jake Ferguson. We're going to hear about that. Our Larry Ramirez and Mary Rominger have full details of how that went down. Plus, a little sneak peek of our sit-down interview with Jerry Jones that you not want to miss. So stay with us.
Camping with KSAT, powered by Thomas J. Henry.
The hitting began at Dallas Cowboys training camp this afternoon as the pads were put on for the first time at camp. That brings a new sense of energy to the practice fields. Guys going full speed when fighting for a roster spot, and this time of the year also is a great opportunity for people to finalize contract extensions. Our Larry Ramirez and Mary Rominger have more on that out in Oxnard. What's up, guys?
Yeah, thank you, Nick. So before practice this morning, we found out that tight end Jake Ferguson signed a contract extension with the Dallas Cowboys, keeping him with the boys through 2029. Now, he's coming off a down season, his first season last year that he never caught a touchdown, he said, at any level of football, and that's because he was just dealing with some injuries that slowed him down. But the Cowboys locked up one of the best tight ends in the game.
Yeah, this deal, despite the down year that you just talked about, shows Ferguson that the Cowboys see him as a part of the future for the long haul. But this offseason, it wasn't about getting a contract extension. It was about getting ready to have a bounce-back season.
Truly, this whole offseason, I wasn't really thinking about it. I was just trying to get better. I know it needed to be done this whole offseason, so that was my focus. And, yeah, getting it done this offseason and talking to the Jones family, it was awesome to, sign that deal. The Jones family, I cannot thank them enough for believing in me and being able to have those relationships with them, Mr. Jones, Steven, that means the world to me.
And Mary Jake also said that he loves Dallas, he loves the Star, and he can't imagine playing anywhere else.
Well, I'm sad to say this is our final evening in Oxnard. We leave tomorrow morning, but don't worry, our coverage of Cowboys camp will continue in the coming weeks. But for now, for Larry, Mary, and Adam behind the camera, we'll send it back to you in San Antonio, Nick.
Thank you so much, guys. As part of a tradition when we're out at Cowboys camp covering the Dallas Cowboys, we also got a one-on-one interview with Cowboys owner Jerry Jones.
So he is bringing a new energy. Can you guys feel that all the way up in the front office?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. And, of course, Brian is a people person. He's got a great gift. He communicates good. He's the whole package. It isn't just words. It's his body language. It's just the way he approaches things.
Just a snippet of Larry Ramirez's interview with Jerry Jones, just a sneak peek. Coming up later this week, we're going to be airing the full Larry and Jerry sit-down interview where they discussed a whole lot of things, including Jake Ferguson's contract, Micah Parsons' contract negotiations, his belief in new head coach Brian Schottenheimer, San Antonio's own Terrence Steele, the 5-year extension of having the Cowboys in Oxnard, California, and a special message to all the Cowboys fans in San Antonio. You're not going to want to miss it. Well, the Houston Texans had the day off today from training camp, but they'll get right back to work tomorrow morning with their pads on for the first time at camp. The players know how crucial the next couple of days will be in choosing who's going to make the final 53-man roster.
We out here to compete in this camp. When the pads go on, we're going to keep competing. Everybody's out here. We all trying to fight for a spot now. There's no more OTAs. After this, it's season. We're going. So the best, not one of the best. I think we got the best secondary in the NFL. We got guys everywhere from depth. I think we got the best depth. And every guy who names get called up, they're going to step up and make a play.
We'll have continued coverage of the Texans all week long as our Camping with KSAT coverage continues with both of our NFL teams here in Texas.
Give me more Larry, Mary, and Jerry.
And I'm going to have to change my name to Gary just so we have it all together, just one big, fun group.
Yeah, keep it with the Y's.
Exactly.
Thanks for that, Nick.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Or should I say Gary? Coming up, a new Missions baseball stadium is on the rise, but where's the money for it coming from? We'll explain. Well, With all the conversations and questions about a new Spurs arena, it's easy to forget that a new Missions baseball stadium is coming to downtown. Earlier this month, SAISD agreed to sell the final piece of the puzzle to make that happen. The city and the county are paying for the new stadium, but not through a tax increase, at least not an increase in the tax rate. In this case, that explains. We break down where that money is coming from.
First of all, is it TERS or TIERS?
Tomato, tomato.
TERS stands for Tax Increment Reinvestment Zone.
The TERS is kind of the geographical area.
It's an area that local government identifies as needing improvement. Creating a TERS allows local taxing entities to use property tax dollars generated within that zone to pay for that improvement.
The goal in particular is economic development in areas that are unlikely to generate it themselves.
That's kind of the meat of what we're talking about.
The first step is creating a base value. It's the property tax value within the zone when the TERS is created, before any new development comes in.
When we're talking about the base value, we're talking about the property value at the start of the tax increment reinvestment zone.
So the county appraisal district will come out, they'll appraise the taxable value of the property in that area, and then that becomes the base value. That's the tax base.
As future development happens and hopefully that value increases, the amount of property tax dollars generated over that base value can be reinvested into the tax increment reinvestment zone.
Let's put some basic numbers in place.
For example, let's use a base value of $1 million. That means all the properties within that zone are valued at a combined $1 million when the TERS is created. Let's say the next year, the property tax value increases to $2 million. $1 million of that base value, goes back to the local taxing entities, like all other property taxes. The other $1 million can be reinvested into that zone, and a municipality and local leaders can decide what percentage of that amount they want to reinvest.
That can be anything from roads, parks, sewer, parking, any kind of public improvements.
Creating a TERS doesn't guarantee property values will increase.
It doesn't happen overnight, so it can take several years of these increases to actually amount to a significant amount.
Which is why public entities might turn to a private partnership to speed things up. It's what the city of San Antonio and Bexar County are doing to build a new downtown stadium for the Missions baseball team.
This is so unique. Weston Urban and the Missions will be holding the majority of the risk.
Weston Urban is the private developer pledging to pour money into new projects near the site chosen for the stadium, which would be at the corner of Kingsbury and North Flores Street. That's just east of the I-35 and I-10 interchange downtown. It's planned to be part of the San Pedro Creek project, which is within what the city calls the Houston Street TERS. It sits between I-35 and I-37. The Houston Street Zone is one of 9 TERS currently in the city. The Missions are a AA team, owned in part by the co-founders of Weston Urban. Major League Baseball said the Missions' current home, Wolf Stadium on the west side, where the team has played since 1994, needs major upgrades. And without them, the Missions can't stay in SA. And over the years, local leaders have again and again pitched bringing baseball downtown.
Weston Urban Development has committed to bring on approximately $550 million of development between now and 2029, and they will pay taxes on that $550 million.
That more than $500 million in investment is what's expected to drive up property values, which gives the city and the county money to fund the stadium.
We're taking the taxes that come from that development and that go into that tax increment fund, and we're using those taxes to support debt that's going to be used to construct the baseball stadium.
In a typical TERS, a private developer can be reimbursed by a city or county for publicly accessible things they create as part of their development. Let's say a developer builds a hotel and adds sewer lines and sidewalks. A city could reimburse a private company for that.
We're not doing that in the case of the baseball stadium. The developer is not getting any funding for any of their development, and they can't access it for public improvements.
But what happens if it's a swing and a miss? If Weston Urban falls short of their commitment on $550 million in development by 2029?
They are still required to pay the amount equal to the taxes they would have had paid on that development, because we need that to support the debt. And so in this case, it's not the developer that's getting increment to support their project. It's developer committing to develop projects so it can facilitate tax increment necessary to support debt for a public facility, which is going to be a baseball stadium.
Money generated by future development will fund 80% of the cost for the new Mission Stadium, which is an estimated $160 million. The other 20% will come from a roughly $34 million team contribution, a $1 million a year lease for the stadium, and a $2 ticket fee for fans. The Houston Street Tours is not new. It's been around since 1999, and money from it has helped add things like downtown lighting and improvements to places like Travis Park. According to the city, building a new baseball stadium won't take away from other improvement needs in the area. Only money generated by that new Weston urban development will go toward the stadium.
Is the city going to have to look at property by property to see the increase in value to say, okay, this increase came from the Weston urban development, as opposed to in another section of the Houston Street Tours, there was an increase there, but we know that it wasn't from that new development?
Absolutely.
The Houston Street Tours is being expanded to accommodate the stadium project. In fact, it's taking area from another reinvestment zone that's right next to it, the West Side Tours. But the city says that zone won't lose out on funding.
Currently, the city only contributes about 90% of its tax increment to the West Side Tours. We're going to increase that to 100%, and then we're also going to extend the West Side Tours.
State statute allows local taxing entities to create these reinvestment zones.
We do have a registry of all agreements, but we don't approve of them.
And there's no penalty for a city or county if the plan fails to raise property values. 2025 will be the base year for the reinvestment calculations to cover the new baseball stadium. The life of that zone will be extended through 2054, meaning roughly 30 years of property tax growth the city and the county hope for could help foot the stadium bill. Stadium construction is expected to be complete by 2029. As for the private development that is key to this local field of dreams.
Planning, construction, all of that is still to come, but
Absolutely.
we have Weston Urban's commitment signed on the dotted line that this is going to happen.
Yes.
And you can watch all of our episodes of KSAT Explains, including this one right now on KSAT Plus. So to come, we're taking a look at the week ahead and letting you know about some community events you might be interested in. Looking ahead to tomorrow, Mayor Gina Ortiz-Jones is kicking off her community town hall series. She'll start in District 4 with Councilmember Edward Munguia. The event will be held from 6 to 7:30 p.m. at Adams Hill Elementary School. The community is invited to come out, ask questions, and share their thoughts about city services, resources, and programs. The mayor will also provide updates on her 100-day plan and discuss the future of San Antonio. Also happening tomorrow, an effort to take care of one of our most vulnerable populations, but with some summer fun added in. Health Texas primary care doctors will be handing out watermelons for free to seniors from 12:30 to 2:30 at the H-E-B located on Calabro Road off of 1604. With the summer heat on the rise, cold, juicy watermelon is the perfect way to stay refreshed. Seniors are welcome to bring a friend and enjoy the treat while supply lasts. Plus, a licensed insurance agent will be on site to offer Medicare information and health resources. Watermelon's always a good call.
There's nothing better than a nice watermelon on a summer day, JP.
We're seeing the heat kick back up a little bit.
Yes, that's exactly correct. Temperatures this week will continue to really start to increase, but right now still at 10:40 p.m. We're sitting at about 80 degrees in San Antonio, 86 still in Del Rio, 77 in Bernie, Kerrville, and in New Braunfels. But not only that, most of the country are sitting on the warmer side. Heat advisories to extreme heat warnings are currently still active for most of the country, going from all the way up to Iowa, South Dakota, all the way over to the East Coast. But for us, we're not expecting any heat-related warnings or watches, but we are going to sit closer to average. Temperatures climbing even near triple-digit heat as we get into Wednesday before more rain chances return on Thursday, Friday, giving us a slight cool down, but still seeing some rain chances. I'll break down those rain chances and how it can impact your week and even your weekend ahead coming up after the break.
Welcome back, and we've seen a little bit of everything today with Mother Nature giving us some sunshine and then clouds and rain in other parts of town.
Yeah, I mean, Texas, even the last few weeks or months, it's kind of seemed like the weather's been a bit of a roller coaster. But I like to say it's a little bit of weather for everyone. We got some rain today. We're seeing temperatures tomorrow waking up. Not too muggy, but still seeing temperatures in those mid to upper 70s, 77 degrees in San Antonio when you're waking up. Still seeing some mostly cloudy skies. And then we continue throughout the rest of your afternoon or your morning perhaps, and you're already by lunchtime. Temperatures in those mid to upper 80s, and we will continue to see our temperatures increase into those mid to upper 90s. 97 degrees expected for San Antonio, but we are still having the possibility of a stray shower. It's only about a 10% chance, but that humidity associated with the stray showers will allow the heat indices to feel like we're above 100 degrees. So keep that in mind, especially because we're going to keep the partly cloudy sky coverage as well. So it's going to feel even warmer. You're still going to have and want to drink plenty of water, wear sunscreen throughout the day tomorrow, because even in San Antonio, although we're still getting to about 97 degrees, other areas just along I-35 as you go towards Cotulla, Laredo, they're normally a few degrees warmer. They're still expected to get to triple-digit heat. Other areas still staying in those mid to upper 90s. 97 degrees expected in Del Rio tomorrow, 97 in Gonzales, 95 in Victoria, and that's tomorrow. We're still sitting a little on the drier side till Wednesday, but what we're watching is Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's when we're seeing another upper level disturbance make its way into areas across South Texas. Now here's the future cast. That low pressure system we saw today, that's going to continue to push into areas of Mexico and even the Pacific Ocean. But that high, that's going to continue over today and even the next few days to really get closer to San Antonio and really just linger in areas across the state. That's that heat high, or that big blue H, that heat dome. We have many nicknames here, but that's going to give us the warmer temperatures and a little bit of a clearing in the afternoon. That's going to be the weather maker for Tuesday and Wednesday, but Wednesday, that heat high finally starts to leave, and what we're watching is another upper level disturbance make its way into the Gulf, and then that's going to bring us more chances of rain next weekend. That counterclockwise rotation can bring in some of that Gulf moisture as well. So we're keeping you posted for the rain chances next weekend, but take a look at how much rain could potentially fall. It's still a week away, so check back with us because things can change ever so slightly. But here's a look at the rainfall potential over the next 7 days. Not really tracking much for San Antonio, maybe a quarter of an inch. The heavier rain will be well to the east of us, especially in areas of Louisiana, New Orleans, even getting into areas of the rest of the Gulf Coast. So once again, we'll keep you posted as we get closer to the event, but we're still in a drought. Medina Lake specifically still in that exceptional drought. That's the worst case for that drought. Bexar County is in that extreme to severe, so any rain is going to be good rain, even though some areas in the hill country are still working on recovery efforts. We will continue to see a little bit of a break from the rain, but it still allows temperatures to get up to the 90s and even 100 degrees on Wednesday. So it's not necessarily going to help some recovery efforts up in the hill country. So we hope that the cooler temperatures, although it's going to still be spotty rain showers, we hope that the cooler temperatures will kind of allow the first responders to get a little bit of the work done and not sweat as much as they normally do.
We'll say, you mentioned earlier, a little bit of weather for everybody with heat, clouds, and rain on the forecast. Also, these steamy showers where it rains for 10, 15 minutes and then stops. And you walk outside and it's like
and it's a nice
outside.
cool down.
No.
When it rains.
While it's raining, yes. And then it stops and you have to wait for the sauna-like feel to go by.
Oh, for sure.
But then the breeze comes in. Thanks for that, Shelby.
You're welcome.
All right, camping with KSAT. We got a one-on-one with Jerry Jones, the man himself.
Yeah.
Soundbite machine every time we sit down with him.
Absolutely.
Can't wait to see what he has to say now.
And he had the sound bites rolling again tonight. You guys are going to get a little snippet of that sit-down interview that Larry Ramirez was able to have with him. We're going to hear the full part of it later on in the coming days. Plus, our Ancira Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Play of the Week will make our William Mossam proud to call us friends. You're going to find out why when we come back.
Camping with KSAT, powered by Thomas J. Henry.
Well, our Camping with KSAT coverage got a little rough today as the hitting started for the Dallas Cowboys, who were in full pads at practice. Now, the team's showing some of that physicality that got some of these players to the NFL, all making sure not to injure anyone because everyone just deserves a shot to get onto that 53-man roster. As part of our scheduled interviews while we're in Oxnard, our Larry Ramirez sat down with Cowboys owner Jerry Jones. Here's a clip of their interview.
So he is bringing a new energy. Can you guys feel that all the way up in the front office?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. And of course, Brian is a people person. He's got a great gift. He communicates good. He's the whole package. It isn't just words. It's his body language. It's just the way he approaches things.
Well, that's just a snippet of Larry's interview with Jerry Jones. Coming up later this week, we're going to be airing the full Larry and Jerry sit-down interview where they discuss a whole lot of things, including Jake Ferguson's contract, Micah Parsons' contract negotiations, his belief in new head coach Brian Schottenheimer, San Antonio's own Terrence Steele, and a 5-year extension to having the Cowboys in Oxnard, California, as well as a special message to Cowboys fans in San Antonio. You're not going to want to miss it. Also today, the Cowboys signed tight end Jake Ferguson to a 4-year contract extension for $52 million and 30 of it guaranteed. And he kind of knew that they were going to get it done.
I wasn't really worrying about it. It was super fire in the back of my mind because, like I said, I was really focused on trying to get better this year and making sure I was taking my best foot forward this season and just be as consistent as possible. The Jones family, I cannot thank them enough for believing in me. Being able to have those relationships with them, Mr. Jones, Steven, that means the world to me. And being able to have those conversations, those real conversations, and be straightforward in them is special to me. And like I said, I'm really thankful that they were believing in me, and I'm excited to get going.
Who could have imagined when I debuted in 1995 I would take the field with 2 future Hall of Famers, and now I'm joining them. It was Craig Biggio. Bish, even though you whined and complained about pitchers, I still loved you. You brought consistency every day, and your competitive fire helped drive me to be my very best. Thank you.
Over in Cooperstown today, former Houston Astros pitcher Billy Wagner was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Wagner goes in as part of the 2025 class with CC Sabathia, Ichiro Suzuki, Dave Parker, and Dick Allen. Well, it's time now to hit the road for our Encira Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Play of the Week. In the UEFA Women's Euro final, England wins back-to-back championships on penalty kicks. Spain and England needed every ounce of drama to decide this one, and with the strength of her right foot, Chloe Kelly ends it and crowns the true queens of European soccer. Kelly saying after the match that the first time was so nice, we had to do it twice. For your heroic right foot and being back-to-back European champions, you, Miss Kelly, also win our Encira Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Play of the Week.
The sheer power behind that kick. My initial reaction, I wasn't on camera, but you should have put a camera on me because I was like, whoa. I would have dislocated my knee if I tried to kick with that much force.
Absolutely, and the little hop for she got a little hop into it as well,
Without
and then swang through
no hesitation, without a doubt. Knew where she wanted to go, upper 90s.
It's beautiful.
Cash it in.
Well done.
Awesome stuff. Thanks for that, Nick.
You're welcome.
We'll be right back. Before we go, KSAT wants to help you out as we approach back to school. So get out your phone and scan that QR code on your screen because we're offering one lucky winner a chance to win a $500 gift card through a special back to school sweepstakes on GMSA. You have until noon on August 1st to enter, so don't miss out.
And any kiddos wanting to go out and about tomorrow to just enjoy the last few days of summer. Temperatures getting to about 97 degrees. Still seeing that 10% chance of some isolated showers for some folks tomorrow. But otherwise, it's going to be, once again, having a few more chances of rain later in the week.
Awesome stuff. Thanks for that.